grand, beyond compare. That's our calling. Okay? So, he's asking the Ephesians and he's asking us as well, how to walk in a manner worthy of that calling. How do you, what's the response to all of that privilege that we get from God? Verse 2. Here it is. With all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, eager to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. I want to cut that up. Humility. Okay, that's the response now, humility. I'm probably going to lose you na agad if I start talking about humility as you know it. I think this word, humility, has just been abused and it's been mutilated so that it doesn't really carry its real meaning. For us, especially in Asian or Filipino context, humility is wala kang kwenta or, magaling mo, hindi naman ako magaling, It's bawal ka, you're not allowed to feel good about yourself. Okay? And so, that's what humility is understood to be. And so, the first mention pa lang of humility, I don't want to hear that. That's not what humility means. I'm going to change that word, okay? Just because it doesn't suit what it's supposed to mean. I would say, instead of humility, the response to this calling that we have is admiration. First, it's admiration for your brothers and sisters here. Okay? That everybody here, in this gathering now, you are going to see each person here rule and reign in heaven. Celebrities will be forgotten, business tycoons will be forgotten, kings and queens will be forgotten, presidents will be forgotten, but the people here in this room with you now will never be forgotten. Ephesians itself says that we are seated in the heavenly realms with Christ. And so, the response to all of this is we're to have a healthy admiration for one another. We're to count the relationships we have now here. Let me ask you, are these people before you now, in front of you, are these people some of the most important people in your life? Clueless. Well, they should be. We're all supernatural celebrities in God. We're sons and daughters of the High King. So I would really encourage one of you, or each of us, to count our relationships here as the most important relationships we have. Sometimes we have people who are higher up, or people that we know na medyo close tayo, and we like to name drop. Right? I know this celebrity, or I know this vlog, close kami ni ganyan. It's a fun thing to do. But understand, you could also do that about one another. That's the value of our community. Which, by the way, also implies that ikaw, yourself, you are to be admired. Do you believe that you are to be admired? I mean, honestly, do you sincerely believe that you're to be admired? I'm a worm. There needs to be that healthy self-respect and self-worth. And by healthy, I mean, you're going to judge angels. It needs to be there. If you hear this gospel that God is saying to you, and you respond by, I'm a worm, I'm not worthy, or I better just run away from God, I need to hide. That's not honoring God. That's disrespecting Him. Because He said it, eh? And so, that is a major ingredient for eager living. If you want to live eagerly and snap out of laziness, you need first to understand the glories in which you are in and a part of and are in Jesus. And that's why here Paul calls people to humility and gentleness. Here, gentleness, patience, bearing with one another in love. So, in relationship with one another, dito sa Still Waters, have you ever felt na parang hindi mo lang nag-gets yung isang tao and you just, you know, it's like, you, in your mind, sinabi mo na, you forget you. I don't want to listen to you anymore. You know, I just know that. But, you know, or in relationship with other believers, na somehow it's like, you know, forget you. You know, I just don't want to listen to you anymore. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to. I give up on you. And here we are called. That's not admiration for one another. Admiration is to gentleness. You know you have the power to destroy another person. You really do. Here in Still Waters, you can affect the lives of others in a very powerful way. If you don't believe that, then again, it's just false humility. You need to believe that you have that ability. And so gentleness is not weakness in that, you know, you're worthless or you're nothing. Gentleness is to be able to control that ability to either destroy or create. You're controlling it. And so I wonder, still in among us now, is there anybody you've given up on dito? Sumuko ka na ba sa isang kapatid dito? And if you have already given up on a person, that's like a ball and chain on your leg. That's a trap already, and you're already slowing down. That's why maybe you're lazy. That's why, because you're not aware and you're not acknowledging the glories of the things that you are. But interestingly enough, I think we may have something that's more important or urgent to address. And it's in verse 3, for our particular setting. Eager to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. Now, when you see maintain, the first impression of maintain is just, you dapat steady ka lang, diba? That's what maintain means. Maintain is, it's steady, it's constant, it's maintenance, okay? Now, at first glance, when you see that, it might give you the impression that gospel living, eager living, because of the greatness of your calling, that it is a matter of maintaining the relationships we have with one another within this church. You see how you might be able to interpret it that way? Parang, oh, sige, dito na lang tayo sa Thursday, and we just, you know, keep talking to one another, and tayo na lang. Okay? That's, oh, okay. But what are you supposed to maintain? You're supposed to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. So remember in Ephesians 2, you're building a structure, right? You're building a large structure to declare God is great and His dwelling place is great, His people are great. The bond is peace. It's this thing that keeps every block together. It's like the cement, right? It's peace. And I don't know if you've heard me say this before, but peace in the biblical meaning of it is not peace like Filipinos know peace or Asians know peace. Peace is, okay, I forgive you, and wala na tayong away, pero hindi na tayo mag-uusap ever again. Diba? That's sort of the peace that's there. Para wala na lang away, lalayo na lang ako. And so peace kami. And it sounds so good. It sounds so spiritual. But that's not the peace that's here. The peace that's here is shalom. Shalom, or even if this is written in Greek, so pax romana, something like that, like the peace of Rome. It is a safety and security that allows for prosperity. It is a military victory that allows its people to increase and succeed. And so peace is not complete if there is no building up, if there is no strengthening, if there's no increase. And so really what we're supposed to maintain in our group now, maintenance, is just an ever-increasing peace, ever-increasing prosperity and growth in our midst. And so, if we think to be a good Christian, I need to get along with my other church mates and live in church and that's it. No, that's part of it. But there also needs to be this sense of it's always increasing, it's always growing. Is this church growing? Are we growing as a